But if there were to be a new god, it would probably be from the new Voodoo Pantheon. But not saying there's going to be, but... Remember, you don't have to balance the old gods if you keep releasing even better gods. Also, this is lagging its absolute brains out. Now it's not. There you go. Dashing to Zero Loki. Chuck skin. Oh boy, a bundle! Nice. I can talk shit about Smite now. They can't find me because I'm not competitive. Nice microphone.
Live today. Thanks for tuning in. Obviously, I'm back in action this time around, but you may see a little bit more of aggro as time goes on. What have I got for you this week? Well, we're going to talk about the adventure. Yes, a new adventure is coming at you. Probably a little bit better than that Ratatoska one you were all not so happy about. After that, we're going to do some item balance and god balance, as well as some skins. But the first thing to mention is a couple of updates for you all.
Oh.
We're going to start things off with console is going to get a new home screen, a nice UI update for you all at home. There's a nice little look at it. As you can see, we've redistributed how things look on the console thing. But if you're not caring too much about console, don't worry. We've also got something for you guys and for console too. In the updated environment art that we're going to see during picks and bans of the game. So in your match lobby and god selection, look. If you play for the order side, you're going to see that sort of background and imagery. And then obviously, if you're not playing on the order side, you play on the chaos side. And that's exactly what that's going to look like.
That's fun.
On your screen there. So nice updates for you all at home. And after that, there's a little look at the God screen for you all as well. So they're going to get some nice updates too to go in tow.
Nothing wrong with that.
I love art. It's the greatest thing in the world. It makes things work. Then, what's up to next? Skins! Let's go through some skins. We've got quite a few this week. You saw a couple on the intro. Dashing Deceiver Loki.
Yep. Because we needed more Loki skins. He's so handsome.
Not only will he make himself disappear, he'll make you disappear and respawn at the fountain. After Dashing Deceiver Loki, we've also got one that you've all been waiting for. Jackal Tech Anubis is also going to be available. This, by the way, I saw a little look at this earlier on.
I mean, I love Gooby skins, but I don't know about him having a tier 5 skin and then giving him this skin too. It's lagging its brains out.
You've all been putting in for it. Not just Anubis though. Chuck Abyssal Executioner.
Some of these videos of theirs are dying.
From the Void. Nothing but
that's a cool skin.
From the Void. Lots of teeth on his chest.
I'm dead.
Still dying. And after that, we've also got Hercules. He's a little bit mad.
Handsome.
And of course, he's got a skull in his belt. Following Hercules, there's also...
That's actually a handsome Hercules right there.
For the animation for you all. Following that, we've also got Aphrodite. Violet Sorceress Aphrodite. Slightly demonic. And she's got some sticky out ears.
I make something sticky, Hindu.
I'm not an artist, guys. I'm sorry. I just say what I see. I see pointy ears. There's pointy ears, you know? After that, this one looks dope as hell. In a demon hell. Yes.
Ooh.
That is exactly what it looks like in game 2. I'm not going to lie. There is the... Oh my god, there's 2 hells on the screen. Look at us. It's like we've actually put effort into these reveals for you all now. Look at it. Beautiful.
Look at it.
And deadly. Deadly but sexy. Not just that, though. We've also got some mastery skins. Hercules is going to get a lovely mastery update this patch.
Right.
And as well as Hercules, we'll also have... Oh, I didn't know we were going to have animation
these videos are just
not only Hercules, but we're also going to have Chuck.
They're trying their best.
Also get some mastery skins.
They are really...
We'll go through all those a little bit later on and show you
the
animations
animations
and the voice packs in-game on top of that. But for now, it's time to introduce my first 2 guests on this week's showcase. It's going to be Matt Bacchus and, of course, AJ joining us on the show. How you boys doing?
Good. How are you, dude?
I'm good.
Happy to be here. Excited to show off this adventure.
So what's the adventure about? What's it called?
I don't know if that was on purpose or not, but that was pretty good. That was pretty good.
Yes, of course. Regina, a PvP adventure.
That was
It's an
awkward.
arena.
Yes.
Awesome. So, talk to me a little bit then, Matt, about what this
That was
adventure is going to
awkward.
be about, I guess. Like, what's the aim of it? In a demon, obviously, but...
Yeah,
was
so
funny.
we took the arena and put it into Hell's Mind because the theme of adventure is all about Hell struggling with her inner self.
A hell
the constant
adventure.
fight between good and evil.
Sure.
And so we've taken the beautiful landscape and we've destroyed it to show that, hey, sometimes evil takes over and causes chaos in your world. So we've warped everything inside. We put dangerous stuff in the level, and we also put new monsters and stuff as well.
All right, well, let's have a little look at this video. My bad, we should have gone to the video first of all, but we'll have a little look at the video first of all to give you a little glimpse, and we'll take out some in-screen
So this
shots
is the
as
new
well.
adventure, the new hell adventure. Demon Arena? Okay. New PvP adventure. Slay the serpents, release the titans. Oh, no! Oh, this video is just totally dying, but it's trying. So it's a PvP. So it's some sort of arena style with PvP elements. Okay.
Hold up. I think I just saw... Did I see a Titan just running across that?
You did.
That's cool. Like, what? All right, we'll get
Okay.
onto the Titan in a minute, but first of all, like, Matt, that's a lot of effort on that. That's an arena game mode, right? 'Cause it doesn't look like the
Yes.
arena. There's no big coliseum and
Oh,
no
goodness.
fans cheering.
Oh, get it together.
I mean, we wanted to go all out on this art side. We wanted
Okay.
to make it really cool for you guys. So.
Awesome. So,
This
AJ, tell
stream
me a
is
little
just
bit then
not
about
handling
the
itself
actual
well.
game mode. What's the plan? It's arena, but obviously it's going to have twists.
Of course. So there's a couple key twists.
Key
First
twist.
Number one twist is death traps. So we had a lot of fun with those in previous iterations of the adventure. We're bringing those back, but they have quite a twist to them this time. There's water pools around the arena.
Okay.
You can walk into the water pools, but you have a very short amount of time. You'll see a little timer on you scale down. If you're there too long, a giant serpent is going to come out of the ground, out of the water, and just eat you.
Nice.
Execute you.
Okay.
You cannot Aegis or beads it. You
Nothing
have
wrong
to
with
get
that.
out of the water in time.
How long have you got to get out of the water?
It's about a second, maybe a little longer.
Okay, so kind of like a fountain tick, I guess?
Yeah, it's very fast and it's just going to one-shot execute you, so they're very dangerous.
Nice. I like it.
So we've got this kind of water theme. That's why the whole arena is so open. There's no walls. You can really see really far. You're kind of stranded on this island, and there's these evil serpents anywhere. That's the first thing.
Okay.
And there's plenty more.
There's plenty more to add. We'll get to the Titan
Serpents!
bit in a way. With the artwork of this, obviously, Matt, it looks very interesting. Obviously, it's about hell, the chaotic
Goodness
hell.
gracious,
Is that what
that
it's really
video.
about?
Yeah, so the theme of the skin is supposed to be good.
That
versus
video
evil.
is just
And
lovely.
So, a lot of the monsters and a lot of the creatures that we put into this map reflect that, as well as the ruined pillars that you see in the map. The
Let's be
one
real,
side
I'm not
being
playing the
good
arena-
hell
the
and
adventure
second
at all.
that
I don't
hell,
care.
So we themed the bases around that as well.
So it's like demons versus
Yeah.
angelic side.
Yeah.
Basically, okay, cool.
And the demons are winning.
Maybe play it once or twice tops.
Well, I mean, it looks like it.
It
how the
looks
map's
like it, right?
looking, Yeah.
Unless it's
well, it used to be
brilliant.
Very beautiful.
Who
arena, That's how I
knows,
like
I
to think
guess.
about it. But now everything has gone to war for a while, and now we're like fighting in what's left.
Okay, so the serpent demons on this map that come out of the water. What else happens in this game mode?
Right. So death pits, number one.
Right.
Number two, new feature is a complete new objective to the arena. So every
Okay.
2 minutes in the center of the map, you'll see these smaller serpents will spawn.
Okay.
These
Like
are
this, right
Yeah,
now.
yeah, right, just like this. They spawn in those pillar where those pillars used to be.
Right.
So you can't walk through those spaces. Those won't kill you if you set foot in them, but the serpents will come out of them and they'll start attacking.
Oh.
There'll be 3 of them every round.
Okay.
Every round is 2 minutes long.
Right.
Whichever team gets the last hit on 2 of the 3, so the majority will be the one to spawn a Titan that will then push down their wave. And those Titans will behave like arena juggernauts,
Okay.
where they move unless there's enemy gods in the area.
And they'll attack
except they
those.
will attack
Yeah.
people
Oh,
because
that's
arena
cool.
juggernauts don't attack.
No, they just stand there.
They just stand there. We wanted to turn that up a bit. So
Nothing like
you'll see
getting
the
your
Conquest
brain
Titans
smashed
essentially
out by
marching
a
down the
Titan,
lane,
dude.
attacking people along the way.
That's kind of
Cool
troll. It's
stuff.
kind of
You see
fun.
little Titans come out and they're just like beating on the serpent. You have this
Right,
epic
which is
battle going on.
something we've talked about in Smite, and people who remember it way back in like closed alpha, the Titans could actually battle each other. This is happening again in this arena.
That's crazy. That sounds really, really good. No, it's not just that. There's also going to be sudden death post game.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody loves
Is
sudden
it
death.
back?
It is back.
The famous post game, but it's not a knockoff ledge. I guess it's water now, then, Matt.
It's water, and in the past it was lava, and
Right.
lava when you fell in it would just like start burning you. But here it's just the Hydra mechanic. You're out there for too long, you get eaten by Hydra.
I love
This
it.
is something Matt worked on way back in the Underworld arena, right?
Right.
Yeah, so Matt, the
I
champion
love
of the
the
original
final
bonus
round
round, as we called it.
It's actually
The
fun.
bonus round is returning in this arena.
I want it to be its
after
own
the
thing.
match, if you win or lose, you get to one last chance, 5v5 death match in the center of the arena, surrounded by serpent death water. Whoever wins that bonus round.
Legit, they should make the death match its own mode and be like a best of 5 where you just keep doing it over and over again. That'd be so fun.
Demon points that are going to be included in this. Demon points are going to be very, very big.
It's just
these
lulls.
demon points you get by playing the map over and over again.
Right.
And they collect very similar to the Ratatoskr event that we had.
Right.
Where you can unlock things with those.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh.
Okay. And then at the end, the sudden death game bonus, there's actually bonus demon points you get for winning that as well. Which
Right.
don't count towards the
Demon points!
Yeah, that's the only thing
Okay.
you get for the bonus round is more points.
Okay, so you get them by just playing it. Now, there's also something here. I've got something called death marks.
There are.
What's that?
This is a new customizable item in Smite.
Oh,
And the first death marks you'll only be able to unlock by playing the adventure.
okay.
And what these are is a new type of effects
Oh
that
my
when
God,
I have
the
a
lag
death
is
mark
so
equipped
bad.
and I kill you, I'll leave my mark where I killed you.
Cool. So I can teabag people?
Essentially, yes. Except with visual effects. You'll be teabagging them with visual effects. So we have 3 death marks coming out in the first patch. There's going to be 3 per patch. They'll all keep being added additively, like we did with the Ratatoskr skins.
Right.
So you can keep earning more and more. But the first 3 is the rest in peace gravestone on the ground.
Yeah.
So rip to your enemies when you kill them.
Okay.
The skull face with the swirly eyes.
Yeah.
And then the one that we're calling the kill face, which actually
God,
takes
this is
your
so
god's face and puts it where it was. So when I'm playing
That's
my
kinda
Anubis
troll.
and running around getting pentakills, you'll just see Anubis scattered all over the
That
ground
is
to know
troll.
that I
Look
killed
at this
everybody.
video.
If anyone ever
just
gets a
died,
Ganesh
though.
one of those, I need to see it. Like,
Oh,
if
a
you-
Ganesh kill
5
face
Ganesh
there?
faces on the ground would be
That
crazy.
would be
That would be
impressive.
amazing
How
if there
do they
was a
last for, though?
literal
'Cause obviously there'd be a lot
teabag as
less
one of
on
them.
map
That would be
moment.
Yeah, we're trying to be
hilarious.
careful. We have some systems around it that we designed. There can only be 10 on the map at one point, and they only last a minute. So if new ones start coming up, like there's a lot of kills, they'll start replacing each other.
That's cool.
So they'll need to be limited, and you really have to kill a lot of people before it gets busy.
Sure,
so.
but I mean, arena, for example, it gets really busy. And Assault, too, is madness
Yeah,
about
it can.
to
You'll
kill, so-
you'll see them there. You will.
That's
rough.
cool. Well, one thing I've got to mention as well, guys at home, easy to get them fox chests, from what I understand.
Let's just give this a restart. Maybe it'll help a little bit. Everybody in the chat seems to be
As you
complaining
play,
about it as well.
you'll
but
earn-
who knows?
let's see.
Sometimes refreshing fixes
You'll earn
things.
a lot more points just no matter
So-
what. You'll earn even more points if you win. It says it is a PvP mode. We don't want anyone, just AFKing or just kind of queuing
Yeah.
up just for the minimum points. You'll earn a lot more points if you win. You earn a lot more points if you buy the bundle.
Nope,
And you earn more
didn't help
points
at
if
all.
you win the bonus round.
Still trash.
I'm talking about the bundle a little bit. This will be available in the patch as part of it, the Inner Demon bundle. It's going to be 900 gems. It's going to have the limited Inner Demon Hell, Inner Demon Pedestal, Inner Demon Level Up effects, Inner Demon Jump Stamp, and the 2018
At least the hell
Gold
skins are cool.
Vault Key.
What's that
To
going
talk about
for?
the Gold Vault as well, just a little bit for you guys at home. It'll have the Violet Sorceress Aphrodite added to it, alongside DJ Ganesha and Marvelous Maid Amaterasu, which are already in the vault. Most of you probably already have
Aphrodite.
one of those 2 skins.
Yeah,
and now you
yeah,
get a chance to get the
yeah.
other one if you don't want the
No.
Aphrodite
Yeah.
one,
Oh.
which you may do.
Did we just lose
This
visual
eventual
quality
upgrade,
at the wazoo?
once again, it's going to
Hello?
be lasting similar to the
Oh
last
yeah,
one in
no,
terms of
it's
length.
so
It'll
done.
be 3 patches long. 6 weeks.
The YouTube
Cool. So
one
you're just
doesn't
gonna
seem
go
to be
fighting
lagging.
the arena, a little bit of a difference.
We've
this time
usually
round.
used the
And
YouTube
then
one
have
in the
bonus-
past
The
because
bonus
I
round is
didn't
staying for
freak
3
out.
months, so 3 patches.
Let me go
Yeah, it'll be a
self-gratifying.
separate queue. It's not replacing Arena queue.
Oh,
It's
cool.
its own queue.
Oh,
Adventures
awesome.
queue.
I didn't even
What's
think
it
about that. I was like,
called?
is he just going to replace arena?
No. Yeah, so you can still play regular Arena, but we'll have this queue as a separate queue.
Who would play
Yeah,
regular
man. Some people
arena?
don't want to. You pick all knock-up gods and you're
Bam.
getting executed by giant
See if
serpents.
this
Sometimes
helps.
you might just want to play regular Arena.
No,
too,
you want to kill people with serpents.
they're
Why
both
would you
really
play one
fun, of
idea?
course.
Bam.
There's a couple quick things I think we
Switching
forgot about
on
the adventure
over
that I know we're
to
heard, but I want to throw
YouTube.
out there. Jungle buffs. We edited all the jungle camps in the arena.
Oh, really?
There's a lot more things to kill in the middle now, so it's a little harder.
They're technically not in the jungle, though, are they? I mean,
No,
they're
but
just
there's
buffs.
there's monsters,
Yeah,
different
yeah.
monsters there with different appearances. They also have different effects.
Okay.
So there's the demon buffs. Essentially, demon purple buff, you get attack speed plus you get the haste effect, hasten fatalis, the whole time of the buff. There's shorter buff durations though. Red buff, you're getting damage plus movement speed.
Bundle
Blue buff,
buff.
you're getting cooldown.
Bundle buffs.
mana heal, and damage mitigation.
They're bundling
each
the
of those
buffs now.
Has a completely new
They
component
love
that
the
makes them really
bundle.
strong, but shorter duration. As you'll find that it's pretty tough to go manage your time with so much stuff to kill.
Awesome.
We also have some quality of life updates in the arena.
Okay.
Some things we're testing out for arena mode, things we might bring to real arena as we go forward if we like them. But you're going to see different respawn timers.
Okay.
So one of the things that could happen in regular arena is when you killed someone, they might have a really short or really long respawn timer, which is kind of random. We purposely have a wave-based respawn. So like when we kill one team, everyone on that team will respawn at the same time. We're preserving that. But we're changing the way that it constantly changes behind the scenes to make it more consistent.
Okay.
So like if you're way behind and you kill an opponent, it's the first death on their team, they're going to have a more standardized respawn time as opposed to the off chance that you could be way behind and they could still have a 1 second respawn.
That's fair.
Which just felt weird. So we're fixing that. We're also going to have ticket indicators. So when you kill things and when you kill gods and you run things through the portal, you actually see a little, like with XP and gold coming off your character, you're going to see when you're earning tickets for your team. Because a lot of players sometimes had trouble connecting what was actually earning points in the game mode.
Gotcha.
You're also going to see some new HUD elements to show when the serpents are spawning, who's killing the serpents, who's got a Titan on the map, who's getting 10 kills.
Adventure arena mode, freaking out the wazoo.
Well, I'm excited to see how that goes on. With that, though, boys, I'm going to let you guys go. Enjoy the rest of the day. I hope you both enjoy being on the show, and we'll look forward to the arena. But now, I'm sick of seeing Pon every single week.
Me too.
On the Patch Note show.
I agree.
So I decided I don't want to be with Pon anymore.
Perfect.
So then I've had another idiot to do it for me. Aggro and Pon are there with the balance.
Wait, Aggro and Pon?
Wow. Thanks for the warm introduction.
I'm a bit glad that I'm not working with him now either.
That's what I'm saying, Pon. You and I.
Pon always looks so cute when he shaves. So cute.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be tough. People know him as a savage. He's
I like
a savage
it.
dude. But outside of that, I think that we can make it happen.
I think we can make it work.
Here we go. It's balance time here.
Balance time.
On the
I gotta
update
move
show.
myself
Let's
so
start
I'm not
with
in the
items here,
way.
Pon.
Yeah.
The general philosophy here, just a little bit of help to Guardians and protections. Plenty of damage right now.
Oh, sure. I retire and we buff Guardians.
There's a few items that Guardians have right now that just aren't quite effective enough. We're bringing them up. We're also taking a lot of characters that have items that are just underperforming for damage purpose. A lot of, like, for example, those 1 hunter change will be important. And then a few other items that have some kind of, like, feels like when you're playing against them. We're toning them down to make sure that you actually feel good playing against them.
My goodness.
All right, let's get it started. Bulwark of Hope right off the bat here. 150 gold off that cost from 2550 down to 2400. Just a little bit more of a viable option. It's an item that we don't see a whole lot of in that tree.
Yeah, especially when you compare to Pestilence, which we'll talk about later.
Pestilence,
it was very ineffective at actually providing you the protections you wanted for it.
Indeed.
For the cost, it was a bit too high. So now when you build it, you'll have the extra gold to spend somewhere else. Make sure this item's cost effective enough.
Okay.
All right, next up, it's Celestial Legion Helm. That goes, the physical protection on that item goes from 30 up to 40. This one a little bit more to deal with the assassins that are everywhere right now.
Yeah, so if you're a squishy mage and you are tired of being one-shot,
nobody's a squishy mage because they buy Warlock's
pretty cool.
staff.
You can
Nobody's
actually
a
build
squishy
this.
mage.
It's already really effective at doing that, but the base protection they got, if it got shredded off of you ever, you didn't really feel the impact. We're bringing up the base of it so that it feels a bit more useful always, as well as just making sure that people remember, hey, this item exists if you want to survive burst assassins.
The reminder buffs are some of my favorites. This feels like a reminder buff, like, hey, buy this item sometimes. Next up is Hide of the Nemean Lion. Decrease the physical protections on this from 80 down to 70. Just tons of prots on this item. 70 prots is still a ton.
Yeah, this is supposed to be a counter item that you can build to deal with basic attackers that are attacking you. Send some of the damage back to them.
Right.
But it was also just way too good at 80 protections. It protected you against everything. It was the go-to item even without the passive being considered. So now when you're building it, you should be considering the passive.
All right, next up, Jade Emperor's Crown. That physical protection goes from 50 up to 60. A little bit of a buff there, and that kind of just, we've just talking about the Warriors and how they needed a little bit, but this is a little bit more for the Guardians.
Yeah, so Guardians specifically are characters that want to build these defensive items so they can be the frontline character. And we have these really cool diversity of aura items.
Like an idea to pick it up now.
You're either going Sovereignty and Heartward, or you're going these more utility ones. Right now we're in more Sovereignty, Heartward, Gauntlet of Thebes. We're just bringing some protections back to these more utility-based items, these more really hard counter items, so that you can build either or depending on the situation.
I don't know if I'd call it a hard counter.
Right, you already mentioned it once, but Pestilence going to be up next, getting a slight nerf here, going from 2150 up to 2250. So just an extra 100 gold for this item.
Pestilence is so
has
good.
a similar item from Hide of the
It's so
Nemean Lion.
good.
It's a similar situation.
It'll still be so good. It's just a great item.
Protection to 200 health. It was some of the most cost-effective protections you could get, and you could just ignore the passive. You really should be building it if you need the anti-heal. You often built it even if there was no healing to actually care about. So bringing this up.
They're always buying health pots, Pon. You can always anti-heal their pots.
You could anti-heal their pots, health regeneration in some cases, sure.
There you go.
Yeah, it was just too effective.
All right. Next up is the Rage buff. So this is the Hunter item that you were talking about. And
You mean
this
the worst crit item in the
absolutely
game?
Perfect, because the problem with crit build historically has been it's really good when you get there to your 3 items of crit, but it's really bad once you started off. This Rage change, you increase the critical strike chance from 20% to 30% right off the bat, but we're going to remove that bonus 10% upon completing the stack. So at the end of the day, Rage has the exact same amount of crit as it did before once you have it stacked, but it's starting higher.
Yes, very much so. The big thing here is crit is something that like is all.
So he still only gives you 40
items together,
but it gives you 30 up front.
Critical strike chance kind of dictates whether that crit can be a viable build when compared to more the attack speed shredding builds.
You still wouldn't get it first though. Now that you don't need stacks, you can get it as like a second crit item. You know, go Deathbringer then Rage or something. But I don't know.
You're going to be really far behind, so it's just too high risk for the reward that you were getting. Now when you build this, there's still a reward for getting kills. You can go up to 40%, but 30 base is going to really help you get a solid foundation for that crit build, whether or not you get it stacked.
So just going to make you more consistent from the beginning, kind of differentiate.
Crit builds aren't even good right now, so
crit item that you want to buy a lot of the time to make it more consistent, and I think this might actually end up making a pretty big difference. All right, next up, Rod of Asclepius, going to increase the magical power on this item from 75 up to 90, and increase the in-combat healing bonus from 10% to 15%.
Yeah, so we saw.
I too love Aphrodite and Chang'e.
That made them very cool for build, but we didn't see some love for the bonus healing items that kind of counter that effect. We also have another anti-heal item that's going to be adjusted in this patch. So we wanted to make sure that that item that you're building to really get some bonus healing felt good. We're bringing up the amount of healing you get while you're in combat to encourage in-combat healing, as well as giving more magical power, which will help your heals, but also help your offense when you build this.
I like
awesome stuff. All right, next up. So we buffed crit, but if you can't really build crit if there's thorns everywhere, right? So
Shield of Thorns
a little bit from 50% down to 40%. This is going to affect both the base version
there we go
and that upgraded.
Yep, this is
screw
an item
thorns for forever
to play against. We added a few things to really help that, but at 50% it was still pretty potent. It limited build diversity in a way that we felt was kind of unfun. So we're toning it down. It's still a healthy item to have. This item that you can build that if there's a whole bunch of in-handers, you can walk at them and they can't really do anything to you. It's healthy to have this item, but when it's too overbearing, it can cause problems. So 50% was a bit too much. Going down to 40%.
All right, awesome. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people happy about that, particularly this guy right here.
Yep, I agree.
Kasari, a little bit of a shift here. Now we're increasing the magical protection from 40 up to 50, but bringing down the passive attack speed from 25% to 20%. So a little bit of a buff coupled with a nerf.
Yeah, so the effect is really cool with this boost of attack speed, but we also know that it's a fine edge item that if we make it too good while it has its attack speed, it becomes the dominant pick.
Right.
We're toning down the attack speed by giving more defenses to the Guardians, so that when you can pick this up, you're going to feel more tanky for yourself.
I think I'd prefer the 5% attack speed for my team.
Looking forward to. It's in the S tree, and so it should be coming next. Yeah, it's Soul Gem getting a slight
this is getting a nerf.
That passive increased bonus damage from it was at 40%. We're gonna bring that down to 30%.
Yeah, so pretty good item. It helps mages get a little bit of
additional
burst. And so we're just toning down the actual damage component, not the heal component, because we feel like the heal is this really cool effect that you can bring to your team, but the damage was a bit too much, especially with a few characters who could really abuse that bonus damage. Turning down to 30% is going to really help over the course of a whole game.
That's nice.
For me just to be doing just a bit less damage with this item.
All right, good stuff.
Still a freaking good item, though.
All right, next up, there's this shift that you were talking about for that anti-heal item. It's Toxic Blade, something we don't see a lot of. So we're going to do a pretty big shift to it. So increase the pen from 10 to 15. We're also reducing the stack count of anti-heal from 3 stacks down to 2 stacks.
That's really nice.
And increase the stack duration from 5 seconds to 8 seconds.
Wow.
So what does this all mean?
Wow.
So the big thing here is we looked at
anti-heal.
Holy. In the past, Divine Ruin, Brawler's Beat Stick especially, and we found that they needed to be kind of strong enough on their own that when you built them, you didn't feel like you were losing too much DPS. And Divine Ruin and Brawlers are now in a really good spot with that. But Toxic Blade was this kind of...
It's not the worst item I've ever seen now.
Not only did you have to stack 3 times, which made it kind of... You had to really ramp it up there, but it lasted for a short duration, so it would fall off quickly. And it didn't really give you the damage that you needed to feel like you're spending this gold and you're not getting like an Executioner or
certainly
or some other attack speed item. And so now we're going to give it the bonus pens.
I wonder
when you buy it,
if that would be good enough.
Sure that the duration of that anti-heal is more consistent now, so you can actually apply it for the same length that all the other anti-heals are.
To get for like 1v1 dueling.
Could get up to 60% anti-heal.
You know, like in the Hunter lane, if you guys were 1v1ing to take away their like Devo gloves or something, if Life Steal ever came back in the meta.
You build it, and it's going to be interesting. More effective for longer, but not quite as the high end.
It won't go to the crazy high end that it could before.
Right, just a little bit more consistency there for Toxic Blade. All right, last item I've got here on the list, Warlock Staff getting a nerf. Decrease the
there you
go. From 4 down to 3.
Finally.
What this ultimately means for you guys at home is when you have it fully stacked, it was giving you 600 health. Now it's only going to give you 500 health.
Yeah, so Warlock's staff change is really targeted towards making sure mages still have good build diversity. For a lot of characters,
still a good item,
when you got that much power and up to 600 health, you were going to survive a lot longer. It would synergize with any
thank the Lord,
that
though.
you need to get that
Boy,
game.
golly.
And it was just too stifling for the builds. We're toning it down to 500, so it's still good. When you get it strong, when you get fully stacked up, it's still going to be strong. It just won't be as strong as it currently is.
So before we touch the power that was still getting bought all the time, now we're touching the health, and we're hoping that we'll see a little bit more build diversity there. That does it for items, and if you're just joining us and you missed the first half of it, go ahead. We got a quick little graphic to show you what you can be excited about when you read the full update notes, which will be posted as soon as we're done with the show here. The big ones that I'm going to take away from this, for me personally, that I'm going to go home and complain about are the Warlock staff and the Soul Gem nerfs. But I think that a lot of the...
I think on the whole, those were all good changes. I don't know about the Shogun's change. I don't love that.
Definitely.
All right, next up. That's
about it.
So now it's time to move on to the gods.
Everything else is good.
Section. Our general philosophy here, a little bit more focus on the quality of life, but there's also going to be some significant changes.
Yeah, so we're continuing what we did last patch with those characters that have these like invisible hitboxes being removed, where they still look like they're hittable. We're going to make sure that they actually are hittable now. We also just have a few high-level meta picks that we're looking to adjust, especially now that we've seen consistent weeks of SPL level play.
Right.
We have a few characters that we really want to target. And then, yeah, just some nice little fun things here for certain characters.
All right, well, nice little fun thing to start us off.
And one character getting a significant change.
Okay. Yeah.
Significant change.
Stay tuned for that. You won't have to wait very long. We're going to start off with a fun one here. Ares buff.
Okay.
No escape. That's his ultimate. It no longer requires line to
what?
respond to enemies. So you can do that from Hindu. Can you pipe
Hindu just screamed. I just heard Hindu. We both screamed.
So now you can.
Did you hear Hindu in the background scream? What? Holy!
Whatever you want.
Yeah,
that's
so
insane.
This is mainly to help him.
This is mainly to get his ass into the meta. Don't lie to me. There's no reason to do this unless you're getting his ass straight up into the meta.
Like they're behind a wall.
Holy!
But it also is just a nice quality of life buff for him so that he can actually be really impactful in these team fights. He can go in and reliably grab people. With CERBERUS, which is another character we're going to touch on, he has this giant circle effect that appears. But
that's actually insane.
You also wouldn't get grabbed in a similar way. He now grabs. We felt it would also be consistent if Ares could also grab as well, because he's rising up in the air. He can throw those chains over the wall. It's fine.
Oh yeah, he can see you.
Okay.
There's no escape.
There's no escape from no escape. At least it's RP. Bonus points for the roleplay.
I can't wait for the just like on the wall to red buff or mid harpies or whatever and yank them through. We're going to see some crazy stuff from that for sure. All right, next up, as you mentioned, CERBERUS getting a couple changes here. We'll start off with the paralyzing spit. Lots of changes to this ability. That's his one. It now goes through walls.
That's a buff.
This ability had its offsets adjusted to better reflect the targeter, just a little bit more clear for you guys. The radius of each of the projectiles has been increased from 3 to 3.5.
Stop him.
And
Stop it.
The stun from this ability is now subject to diminishing returns. So we understand that CERBERUS was seeing a good amount of pro play and having some success there, but the general feedback from the community was that he still felt a little bit difficult to use and clunky and just didn't quite feel right with that paralyzing spit. I think that we're going to keep an eye on him, you know, with the pro level play, but this was in the works.
He is the number one solo laner in the game.
We were looking at the
number one.
The targeters lined up.
And they gave him his one goes through walls.
The effects
and they made it easier to hit.
Size, and it led to players throwing out their paralyzing.
Ooh, he's got DR on his stun. He's a solo laner. There's nobody to DR his targets.
Free to have these fixes in so that he can actually perform in the way that we kind of intend him to
Holy.
To be accurate. And these changes really help accomplish.
That's just a straight up.
Everyone, take a breath.
Bad change.
No, we're
that's
not
bad. You better nerf him.
Actually, wait to take your breath until.
Okay. You better nerf him right now.
Expulsion, that's his 3. Increase the range from 50 to 55. It just felt.
That's a buff.
Just short of a normal leap range, and so now we're just making it a normal leap.
Yeah. So now it's a normal leap range, and it also helps him for a character that really wants to get in there, so he can breathe on targets and he can ult and catch as many people as he can.
I'm actually getting memed right now.
Get into the middle of a fight where he wants to be.
And as you mentioned, the Stygian Torment now will pick up people that are behind walls, but different from Ares, where Ares will pull you through those walls, CERBERUS won't be able to move you through them. Yeah,
he'll grab you, but when you try and fly towards him, you'll actually hit that collision and stop. But the big thing here was the giant circle effects look like it hit you, but for some reason it just didn't, and that was because of the line of sight. Now, since it looks like it hits you, it does hit you.
I've wasted a lot of purification beats being around walls from CERBERUS, thinking I was going to get and not. So I think that's going to be a really nice quality of life adjustment for him. Okay, that's enough for Cerberus. Now you take your deep breath.
There we go.
And reassess, and everything's going to be a-okay. Next up, Hell getting some quality of life.
I don't know what to say. I actually don't know what to say. Other than he was easily one of the best solo laners, if not the best solo laner in the game. And they just buffed 3 abilities. So I don't know what to say.
But
they obviously don't understand what they're doing.
The opposite stance. So this is what we have for RDO and Uller. Now Hell has it.
Okay.
Yeah, and we said this a few times that when we were going to make a skin for the character, we'd also reinvestigate looking at that cooldown passive meter because we like these stance dancers to be able to see their stances properly. Now Hell has that.
All right, awesome.
Cerberus now
on the light
permaban.
basic attack, remove this projectile offset. This ability now fires directly down the center and matches the targeter.
That's nice.
Again, matching the targeter is a general good thing that we're trying to be a little bit better.
Everybody made
definitely. It was kind of an offset and it caused you to miss auto attacks, especially because the dark stance did go through the center.
Right.
And so having these 2 different auto attacks on the same
offset
character
autos is
very
weird.
strange, and they were just slightly off, so you couldn't quite figure out why. That's why.
All right, and restoration, same deal. Just making it
Same
so
deal.
that it fires right down the
That's
middle.
light stance 1
Yes.
orb.
All right, that's it for Hell. Now,
Okay.
on to NEZHA. So NEZHA on the Windfire wheels here, making a slight change. This is kind of in line with what you were talking about before with making it consistent with moving players around and that kind of stuff. Move the damaging hit as the enemy god begins to fall. It increased the initial and landing damage from 60 to 220 to 80 to 280. So this is just, there was an extra hit in there as you were about to bring them down. We removed that and are just increasing it to, it should be the same, right?
Yeah, so you get hit and then up in the air, crit, and then right as that 3rd crit happened, another hit would happen that you were falling, and then you'd fall and take a fall damage. And that 4th hit while you're in the air didn't really have any visual conveyance. It didn't really make sense that it was there. We removed it, which now makes it so it's very clear when you're getting hit. You get hit, you go up in the air, 3 crits, landing hurts you as well. But it also means that when your beads NEZHA, right, that initial hit will hit harder. So you're a bit more rewarded for even if the enemy does beads you, you get a little bit more damage there, which should help NEZHA players.
That's awesome. That's good.
So it's actually a buff. It's actually a NEZHA buff.
Where you've got someone up in the air with NEZHA and you're like, am I going to kill them? That extra little hit that you didn't see kind of threw you off at times, so it'll be a little bit more clear for you NEZHA players and those playing against NEZHA. All right, on to Nemesis. She's receiving a nerf here. Judgment, that's her ultimate. Decreasing the damage from 20 to 40% of current health down to 20 to 30% of current health. So at max rank, you're going to take over just under 10% less.
That's a good one.
Yep.
There we go.
Her very closely.
That's what I like to see.
Adjustments to her previously in like 5.4,
That's what I like to
as well as some changes to assassin items. We wanted to watch her very closely after those assassin changes because we expected they would affect her a lot. They didn't affect her as much as we expected. So now we're actually hitting the damage portion of Divine Judgment, so that when she actually dies the back line, ults you suddenly, you're just going to be taking less damage, especially in the later stages of the game.
All right, next up, Nuwa, another one of those meta picks that we're seeing more and more of in the pro scene. Shining Metal, decrease the stun duration whenever she has the golems there as well. From 1 to 1.5 down to 1 to 1.4, so just 0.1 seconds off.
I don't know about...
It's a consistency thing. She got an extra 0.2 seconds on the initial rank up, and then 0.1 for the rest. Now it's 0.1 consistently. But we also think she's in a position right now where that kind of like, it's a small change, but we don't think that change is going to hurt her, and it also makes the ability consistent.
I don't know why. I mean, I guess because it was inconsistent, but I don't think she's good enough to be nerfing yet.
Everybody.
Time for the soul talk.
It's got to happen. Sit down, take a seat. This is good for you, I promise.
Yeah,
now,
it nerfed
manifestation. That's her passive. This does a lot for Soul, and so we're forced to kind of touch it in a couple different areas.
All right.
Decrease the bonus basic attack damage from 25% down to 20%.
Good.
We're decreasing the attack speed from 1.2% down to 1%.
Good.
And then decreasing the magical power bonus from 1% to 0.8%. What all those numbers basically mean is that whenever she's got that fully stacked passive, she's going to be auto-attacking a little bit less, and it's not going to hurt quite as much.
Yeah, and these are relatively reasonable adjustments. They're 5% at the absolute top end, and then a small percentage decrease as you actually get all the stacks up. And the big thing here is the Soul, especially in the duo lane, was a bit she was really prevalent, and this is just something that the passive enabled her to do. We don't think this is a problem necessarily with like the classes. We don't think it's a hunter problem, so we need to buff hunters to her level, because this is just kind of the nature of the role, right?
You don't think it's a hunter problem?
Where you have less experience, less levels, and that causes you to have less.
I think hunters would tell you it's a hunter problem.
And so rather than bringing up a whole bunch of hunters to her level, which we don't necessarily think is a problem because we think that can be meta solved. Players can choose to power spike certain classes and certain characters, and right now that just happens to be mages and junglers, but that could shift in the future. We just looked at this character that was overperforming just separately from everything else. Looked at the thing that she was doing really well, which is this basic.
Everybody's playing mage hunters.
And tone it down a
we think hunters are fine,
yeah,
but souls are
sense. Again, I mean, towards the end of season 4,
I guess they nerfed High to the Nemean and Thorns a little bit.
Level 20 as fast as possible. Now we're seeing the same, but in the mid lane, and so I think that you're right. It is sort of a meta idea. We're keeping an eye on hunters and mages in general, but we really feel like it is more of a meta thing than a class problem.
And hunters can still hit their late game stride and really be the impactful force that they can be. It just certain priorities for certain teams.
I don't think hunters are ever better than mages right now.
This is going to be a big one, guys.
Ever.
TERRA getting some significant changes here. Yeah. Number 1. Everyone put on your party hats.
Oh,
her monolith now
no. You actually can't.
She got her root back. Pop.
Yeah, we did it.
Do that.
It's done.
Now, in order to get this, here's the negotiation.
Yeah, you have to nerf. You have to nerf her.
But the ult has got to get significant.
Yeah, you've got to nerf her. She'll actually be busted.
We're talking about the kind of difference for TERRA here is she's been a problematic character to balance for us. This global presence that she had with her ultimate, no matter what we did with her kit, was always causing her to have insane win rates, really high stats, really high performance across the board. And we had to strip away so many different parts of her kit to make her into a more reasonable state where she's still actually performing well, but just no one plays her because she doesn't feel fun anymore.
Right.
So now that we've kind of looked at it holistically, we've looked at all the changes, we're changing TERRA's ultimate, which is what we the root of the problem, and giving it back to Monolith.
Ooh, we got a nice little. You guys needed a little extra oomph behind that one.
Yeah, you need a little more pawn in your life.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank the Lord.
So the ultimate now no longer a true global.
Yes.
Now, whenever you hit it, it's like a sprint being activated around you, and it'll affect your teammates, and now it affects enemies as well.
Yeah, so when you pop it, any enemy or ally around you gets stones around them. If it's an ally, they take damage reduction. If it's a enemy, they take damage increase taken. And then when you pop the 4 stones, it'll either heal your ally based off the stones popping or damage your enemies based off the stones popping. It also has a small heal over time on initial cast so that your allies get some benefit. But now this is very much when you're in a fight with TERRA, you have to worry about this. You don't have to worry about the TERRA across the map popping this suddenly and having your team suddenly have a sprint and cooldown reduction, which is also gone.
It sounds great.
Ability is also gone.
Oh, okay. So no more movement speed or CDR. Does it still give you the clear casting, the manaless abilities?
I don't believe so.
Okay. So
am I lit or does it sound great?
Heal for your team, but they'll get an extra heal.
Am I the only one right now? Like, doesn't that sound amazing?
And the enemies now will get stones. They will all take increased damage in that area. It's kind of like a combined sprint plus horrific emblem at the same time in a way.
Yeah, because that damage reduction and damage amplification is just going to be good on its own. And then when you can actually get the additional trigger, you can really swing a fight heavily because you're healing your team and hurting the enemy, and you have to add those together when you're talking about a swing of health.
Okay, so this is one of those situations where we've seen a little bit of TERRA in pro play now.
Did it just say 600 damage on TERRA's ulti?
Kind of crazy stuff. And the majority of feedback that we were getting from the community was that they still weren't playing her as much. They didn't enjoy the way that her kit had been changed.
And a 300 hit point heal?
Get people to be excited about TERRA again.
Yeah.
But we will be keeping an eye on her and seeing how this affects competitive play.
Yeah, we had to get rid of the global presence.
Okay, listen.
All other abilities have to kind of come down in power.
Am I high?
Global presence is gone,
or is that ulti amazing?
And actually focus on that.
Did they just take her ulti and say,
we can do that now, but
instead of a global ult, how about a twice as good ult around your character and the root back?
To such low levels to really get her into a balanced state that would be almost meaningless.
All right, makes sense. Okay, so there's going to be plenty more. You can read the details on the
Did she just become the best support in the game?
Ultimate is the entire page, and we just don't have time for that.
Yeah,
next up, it's Thoth. He's getting a nerf. Evade and punish, that's the dash. This ability now does not go on cooldown until after Thoth fires the stunning projectile. So basically, he could run around and point it at you with while it's ticking down, and then shoot it, and then have his dash up again. Now he needs to actually fire.
Oh, that's nice.
I think the big thing here
that's a good nerf.
Is some people
that's a good nerf.
A character like this, and he's a character that at all skill levels, not just like SPL, like all skill levels, diamond ranked, right?
That's a good one.
He was just underperforming. He wasn't really having the impact that we needed to. And that puts him in a weird case where we could nerf him, but now he's really, really underperforming based on statistics. And so we generally don't want to do that. We want to look for other things to do. But he's such a character that at SPL level, he was being so highly picked and banned. I think he was above Woojer as a character that's often commonly cited. He was so overperforming.
Shut your mouth.
Bans that we kind of
don't want to nerf him.
And we feel this really targets.
You shut your beautiful face, Pawn.
Where he has
nerf him into the ground.
The finger.
Man's got like a 98% ban rate. Holy.
Guarantee the stun. Guarantees the stun. And he's going to be dashing 3 seconds from now.
Exactly.
And it makes it really hard to chase, so we're slowing that down.
All right, that does it for the gods. If you just joined us in the middle of any of that long rant that we had over all the gods, we got a little recap graphic for you here. The big one, TERRA change. I
cannot believe they buffed Cerberus.
In the meta, but also some popular gods getting nerfed.
I'm so
popular picks and bans of the SPL,
flabbergasted.
While Cerberus getting that adjustment, Ares getting a fun.
Also, not calling the TERRA thing a buff is I don't even know.
We did it, and it was all very nice and kind. But you're not quite done yet here, Pon. We got to go over those fixes that we were talking about. We'll go through these pretty quickly. NEZHA, we already talked about the ult changes that he got, but now is going to be targetable a little bit earlier, as will the player that he's grabbed.
Yeah, so when he's on the ground dashing back to his location, he was immune. He now can actually be hit. He'll be CC immune, so he can't be stunned during that, but he can actually be hittable. The target who's also landing had this small.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, they bounced.
Yeah.
And so you could cause that could cause NEZHA players like their setup to miss. So now you'll be able to hit that.
Interesting.
So it's kind of a nerf buff for NEZHA.
Okay.
Serket getting a similar sort of treatment. She got immunity frames, and the person she was throwing had immunity frames. We're changing that up. Now Serket targetable the entire time. Person she's grabbing targetable.
Oh, that's huge, actually.
Same sort of thing on his Fearless. There was also a moment where when you were getting pushed by Tyr, you actually couldn't get hit.
Dang, that's also big.
Now Tyr is able to set up his team more effectively.
Wow.
Yeah, and this one's actually probably the biggest.
That's a buff.
The amount of times Tyr's Fearless, and I've thrown abilities and missed and been like, well, that kind of. You had great lockdown, but I just totally whiffed everything. Now you can actually follow up on Tyr, which we expect will help him a lot.
If Hindu was here, he'd say it's because you're bad. But I know you hit those abilities, Pon, and you're going to do great now that this change is here.
Dude, I like this positivity.
Yeah, that's right. Positive vibes. Hercules now driving strike. Targets hit by this no longer lose their hitbox. Same sort of deal.
Yep. Same thing. Less severe than Tyr because it's so quick, but it's still nice love for him.
Yep. Giannis, we've got a little bit of an FX change to the portal. In fact, we've got that in-game to show you guys. Now, before it would like open up, but you wouldn't quite fall through it until it was done.
Yeah.
Now this is clear feedback. Pops up,
there we go.
Yeah, there was like a small delay where it looks like you wouldn't be able to fall through, and now it's very clear. It also shows you warning as to where the area is going to be, which previously didn't exist. So both for Giannis players to have a very clear understanding of when it's going to happen, but also for enemies fighting to know, oh, I have this portal that's about to appear underneath me.
All right. Last one up is Dodgy. A little bit of a quality of life here. Just made it a little bit easier to see where you were targeting the chains up on the powwow.
Yep, it was hard to see that targeter, especially when you're up and chaos of the battlefield is going. It's brighter, so you can now see your targeter better.
All right, guys, I know you don't want me to throw you back to Hindu Man because he's the savage guy and he's going to be mean to us, but kind of have to. Don't really have a choice. It's back to Hindu Man on the couch.
Those were certainly some changes.
Back to Hindu Man. I just want to sit here looking like a mini AJ with me Bologna top on. Well, that was the balance section for you all. Enjoy TERRA and Ares in every single one of your games, boys and girls. But for now, it's time to head over to skins.
Nope, I don't care about skins, but I mean, as far as those changes go, they were all pretty good. I don't know about, I mean, obviously the new all buff or nerf wasn't really that much, but I don't know. I get they were trying to make it even. The Cerberus change was stupid. And freaking TERRA looked like she's going to be broken after the patch. Like, just absolutely, sillily broken. But thank you guys for coming out to the stream today.